maybe January 4th, there was a Black Leadership Summit on voter participation, chaired by Walter Fauntroy. And did they run that picture up here too? Oh, rest deep. And Al Sharpton and Dick Gregory and Joe Madison and Hugh Price of the Urban League and Ron Daniels and Marty King III and some congresswomen and Maxine Waters, and they had a whole entourage of what they called the Black leadership. And they argued at some point over whether the election was robbed, stole. It went all over. They would not concur with the term coup. You see, if you say coup, you say revolution. See, we just saw the white revolution. They meant business. Gore was in on the white revolution. Bush was in on the white revolution. In fact, they were all in on the white revolution. The Nine Hoods, they was in on the white revolution. Some of you all, in fact, I kidded sister where she at. I got her on tape. Y'all come in my town. I got y'all on tape. Up there at the Supreme Court and stuff. I saw y'all up there. In fact, some of the UAM members were on the local news. And as I watched it that evening, I could see some of the people who were here right now. Where's sister at? You here? She moving so fast she missed her part. She said, don't forget to mention you got me on tape. And she ain't in the room. All right. And it's kind of like how I felt when I was at the Black Holocaust Conference in LA. I just be around black people. I don't get the feeling that what they say they saw, they meant they saw it. You know? It's like we're at the Holocaust Conference and everybody arguing over lunch, water, heat, sun. You think it wasn't a white man. That was what was scaring me the worst. The same with this election. People was real pissed off, you know. White man snatched control over 1,900,000 employees. That's how many people work for the feds. And white boys, I watched them now. I watched black people and handicapped people and white people with the Jewish religion down there holding signs demanding for the right to vote or to be counted. Then in this other shot, I saw these white boys beating on the window, cussing, violently threatening people with whoopings if they didn't stop counting them votes. Now, did you see that? You saw that, didn't you? In fact, you even heard some people say, you know what, I stopped counting because they was beating on them damn windows. Now, there is no more of this tape back there, but for those of you who got the tape from Mystic 1580, you will hear them talk about that while them white boys was whipping on them windows, stopping other whites from counting votes that the court had ordered them to count. See, if the court is good for you, it's got to be good for the other you. I call them both you because they tend to all act alike. So this court, this guys down front was some Bay of Pig Cuban white boys, Alpha 66, and they had guns on the street in Florida, holding people from going upstairs so the white boys could beat on the windows. You see, if you control the building, you order everybody out. You don't let nothing go down until everybody's out. Who throws them out? The police. Why do they do that? Because they work for you. And that's why I want you to know it's a coup d'etat. George Bush was in Florida the weekend before the election. Then he flew into Texas Monday. George Bush did not fly again for 42 more days. He didn't fly one airplane. If who didn't die, how? In a what? Oh, no. Hillary Clinton might have not run for the Senate because he was going to run, but he died. So Bush didn't fly for 42 days because there was a white revolution and he knows not to trust the airplane. Check. Okay. Sometimes we all look at the same thing, but we see it differently. We're all looking at it. I saw on election night, red, blue. You saw that? You saw the red versus the blue. You see that? Now I saw that, but I saw it like the North versus the South. Then they kept bringing up that old election in 18-something where shit got tight, and it went to the wall, and niggas was on the table. What were they really fighting over? You? See, that's why Gore, when they kept saying, Gore, now that this is over, leave it alone. Why did they want him to leave it alone? Because once it was established that voting tabulation machines don't work, only a fool would keep pressing it and blow the Murphy. Only a fool would keep pressing it and blow the Murphy. Now, they ever pulled that Murphy on you? Hold it now. See, I don't want to see Sharpton running around telling nobody to count no votes. Because right here in New York, they didn't count the votes when Sharpton ran for mayor. But don't tell me, Negro leaders, you pissed, so you gonna go vote again. See, we're both looking at the same things and we're seeing it differently. Somebody say, well, you know, I'm so mad, we're gonna really vote them out next time. No, but you see, you can tell me you understand what I'm saying, but pathologically, I got y'all on camera, y'all will do it too. I saw y'all down there at that building when it was closed. Don't let me catch you walking around buildings when ain't nobody in them. No, I'm not trying to be funny, I'm trying to be serious. Because if it's just the media you want to impress, have the protest at the media station. Close the street down in front of them. They can cover you for hours, do live interviews. Right on the street where you're blocking the trucks from coming in with the film. But don't let me catch you walking in front of no empty buildings because you mad at white folk. Now, they didn't understand what was going on with that so-called butterfly ballot. Remember that? There was a white woman who ran that particular county that put that butterfly ballot in. Anybody know her name? Holler her name out. Holler her name out. She cost thousands of votes for Al Gore, and y'all mad? Let me hear you holler her name out. You so mad. What? No. Teresa LaPorte is the name of the white woman that created that funky little ballot that lost at least 19,000 Gore votes. Let me hear you say her name, Teresa LaPorte. Okay. Because unless you say the name, all the way down in Florida, somebody gonna say, them black folks mentioned your name last night in Harlem. No, somebody gonna tell them. And that's why you got us called, because you want them to feel you without touching them. Because now you got what you got and what they think you got. So, okay, we mad. Now we got her name. Now, whites are real tricky. You gotta be tricky to catch the white man. And you gotta really be mad. I mean, you gotta really be mad. Like so mad you threw at work. See, you ain't that mad, right? most influential financial newspapers, and the Dow Jones is named after the Dow Jones Incorporated that owned this paper. Check. On the front page, there's a column here called Washington Wire, where there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 paragraphs of news briefs. But in this one little box that I circle here that you'll see if you get this videotape, there's a one-sentence statement, not even a story, not even a paragraph. One sentence. It's like the Wall Street Journal catching something but can't tell it, so they just spit it out in the middle of an unrelated paragraph. And it said just this one sentence. It says, oh, by the way, Madam Butterfly Teresa Laporte wasn't always the embattled Palm Beach ballot chief. In the 80s, she moonlighted on the private jet owned by Saudi Arabian weapons dealer Adam Khashoggi, the middleman in the Reagan administration arms for hostages in Iran. Not a story, not an expose, but a sentence. Because it was a coup d'etat. And why keep pressing and blow the Murphy? Because the ones who hate us the most will keep voting if we don't spill the beans. One sentence. So what am I suggesting? That you don't leave Adam Khashoggi used to always be on the lifestyles of the rich and famous. Little tubby butt white boy, he was the Dodi Fayed of the 80s. But he was a vicious white boy. He worked for the CIA, and you can't leave working for him and go over and be in the Democratic Party in Florida, and you just happen to get yourself in the position to give the presidency back to the man's son who thought it was stolen. They had promised Bush 2 terms, and they took him after 1, so he had a huddle. Look, you take your ass to Florida, you take your ass to Colorado, you take your ass to Texas. And I want you to get these electoral college votes and sabotage the rest and bring it back to the family. It took them 15 years to pull it off. And they did it. Jeb Bush lost the election the first time he ran. He lost to Lawton Childs, who broke the back of the cigarette people. And then Lawton Childs died one Saturday afternoon in the governor's mansion. And Jeb Bush won the election. You might have not saw that because you so mad. Okay. All right, now, it's just a little warm up. We're just warming up. Just warming up. It's coup d'etat in America. All right, the red versus the blue. The new civil war in America. The red versus the blue. Now, what does it mean for African people for America to be split 50-50? 1/2 of all registered voters went to the polls, 50-50. 1/2 of them were Democrats, 1/2 of the others were Republicans. The Senate is split 50-50. The House is just separated by 9 votes, numerically significant. The Supreme Court was 5-4. The Florida court was 4-3. Even the 2 black people were on both sides of the issue in the Florida court. The brother was with the 3 whites that lost, and the sister was with the 4 that won, that forced it up to the 5 hoods in the Supreme Court, where Rehnquist browbeat the other 4 whites to go with him and protect the government. Now you got something called the Tower of Babel theory. The thought is that no matter how much you love them, no matter how much much they hate us. Whatever it is that they're building has gone as far as it can go, and now the whites are standing on top of everybody and can't understand each other. It's the Tower of Babel theory that no matter how big Big Daddy looks like he's getting, he is gone as far as he can go. Now his Murphys are working in reverse. His Murphys are revealing themselves without you even hunting it down. This is a divine moment. But what does it mean for you if America split in 50-50? Where did that put a conscious African people? You see, I perceive it's almost like the Red Sea. The water gonna split two ways. All you gotta do is be prepared to cut. No, something is gonna happen. Be prepared to cut. But cutting the bond will have to be done before the opening appears. Therefore, I stand to question those. As we stood at that voters registration emergency Negro summit, and when Eric Mohammed handed the flyer to Hugh Price, when I was talking about jamming the Boule and revealing the Boule ritual book, which we did Saturday, which we're gonna do tonight. Hugh Price, having only been there 50 minutes and didn't speak, took the flyer, looked at next to Dick Gregory and the other of them, folded it up, put it in his briefcase, and stood up. Patted everybody on the back, said, I got to go. Took the flyer back out of his briefcase, folded it up, put it in his shirt, and left. Eddie Williams, who was the former Grand Sire Archon, who was scheduled to speak at 12, didn't show at the summit because it was heard that Cokley and the others were ready to snatch the mics. If only the meeting could be strong enough at 9 o'clock. There were more of me and my friends there than there were of them, and they didn't start the meeting till 20 to 11 when they thought it was safe. Fontroy looks over and says, now Cokley, I'm trying to be up here starting no trouble. Looks over at Eric and I talk, what are y'all talking about out there? They just sweating whether we gonna snatch them in front of the white cameras. If the meeting had been stronger, we'd have took them. It got so bad, then the word comes in that Jesse, the 430 speaker, ain't gonna show up. Oh, we was really waiting for him. But in the fit of irony, Fontroy says, okay, Jesse Jackson isn't gonna be here. Eric Muhammad, you replace Jesse Jackson. And he did. And the point was that we would have took the Negro leadership at that point to make a point about quit dilly-dallying with these hunkies and let them slap you in the face and turn to me and say, if the hunky hit me again, I'm going off. Don't tell me that shit. I don't believe you anymore. In spite of the Million Family March, the Million Youth Marches, the Redeem the Dream March, the Diallo case, police profiling, police brutality, in spite of, I could call them down the list, in spite of all of that, the hunky still won. In other words, nothing came out. Didn't nobody accuse him of being skull and bones, not even one of the Negro leaders. Everybody know he is, but everybody got decorum and shit. These niggas live in houses, they're not mad at the white man. In spite of being a drunk, in spite of being stupid, in spite of vote for him, in spite of being in the secret society skull and bones at Yale, in spite of all them goddamn executions when they even went down there and had the man beg him, Jesse, beg him, Al. In spite of Jasper, Texas, in spite of the massive vote fraud, physical white abuse, in spite of the Seattle protest, the little IMF, World Bank, anarchist white kid shit. In spite of all of that, Bush still won. And while I was at the leadership summit, brother turned to me, he said, man, what you think? I said, brother, this ain't nothing but a grant-getting operation. Now they want the white man to pay them to cry. I'm sick of niggas crying to the white man. And we gonna start whipping niggas in the public for that whippy crying shit. the challenge today. I said this, and they didn't print it. It's kind of odd they wouldn't print it because it was oh so true. When we were at the leadership summit, everybody kind of heard. I went to calling all the radio in the other cities saying, when these Negroes had this summit come January 4th, me and my buddies, we're going to take it over. Because we're coming with something called the righteous black mafia. Let me say that. Righteous black mafia. Okay. Now, say what we're going to do? We're going to be chilling and killing, mugging and thugging for the black people. So even when we was at the summit, when it came my turn, the only time they wanted to hear from the people was let them introduce themselves. When they got to the guy right in front of me, they stopped the introductions. Stop. I looked up, everybody started laughing, because they know it's tension in the room, but if the shit only could have been just a little stronger, we would have took them. It was just too weak to take. They were so baffled and rambling and babbling about going back to the white man court. Now, you're going to look up and lose in every court. And all they want to do is to prove how civilized they are. They want the white man to be proud how they stomach ass kicking. They want to impress them with their coolness under white revolution. No, I'm telling you, they work hard to prove that they're cool. And they all live in mansions. So then I look up. Now that all the Negro politicians have had their protests. Then I look up. You know, I kept wondering, we in Memphis fighting for the Lord Jowers conspiracy trial, and Jesse, he up in Decatur, Illinois, defending 4 thugs on a street fight. I said, they must got something on this nigga. He acting strange. Then Sharp and them announced they going to Supreme Court. Jesse announced he going to Tallahassee. I went, that nigga acting strange. That nigga acting strange. He in D.C. for his son to be sworn in that morning, but that night he don't show up at the leadership summit. It's like he couldn't be there. That was strange. Then I looked up and saw Jackson in New York at a church. What was the name of the church he was at? Canaan Baptist Church. Oh my goodness, do that bring back some knowledge? Wyatt T. Walker? Now you know, see, this is what get me now. I know why T. Walker know Jesse was in on killing Martin King. No, stop now. Because when shit got thick at one point, and Jesse was mad at me for doing the King thing, he called Sharpton. Sharpton got worried, he called Wyatt T. Walker. Sharpton came to me with the words from Wyatt T. Walker about how to protect myself against a Jackson attack. He knew Jesse was in on the killing of Martin King. But he ain't never had me at his church. Now I'm trying to figure this out. I love my man Al Sharpton, but he ain't never took me nowhere. But I saw they took him to Wyatt T. Walker Church. Am I unworthy to be taken? Do I have nothing to say? Do I not respect my family? And what the challenge didn't print it was, Reverend Sharpton, do I have to sin for you to take me with you to the church? Now I love Reverend Sharpton, but they wouldn't print that. They printed Righteous Black Mafia. They printed this election thing, and y'all argue over the city council. We talked a little formula, they printed that. Printed about Skull and Bones, but they wouldn't print what was the only thing I was saying. was, what do I have to do to get them to do for me what they did for the devil? Dick Gregory was here January 3rd. I tell Dick and the rest of them, don't get in my face and tell me about how Jesse did all that killing and shit, and then get in the room with Jesse and kiss his ass. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because, see, the only thing that makes that work is me telling the people that you live in this double life. You got two truths. You're pathological. You know one thing, but you do something else. Because the only thing that lets that go on to the point we bust it and break it up is pathological. The path and the logic don't match. Right here on this stage, I showed you Andy Young say the night before King died, he asked Ralph to make the speech. I showed Coretta Scott King saying it. I showed Ralph Abernathy saying it. I showed Middlebrook saying it. I showed Kyle saying it. Then I showed Jesse saying just the opposite on Meet the Press. He says, as you know, Martin told me to make that speech that night before he was killed, which was a lie. It was a deep lie. It was a lie festered after oncoming investigators, not of the white kind. See, you can get away from a hunky who's looking for you. He just cut you a new deal. What happened with Jesse's insurance policy with America? Was it revoked? He's the only man in the history, right here on this stage, who misappropriated a government grant and got a payout agreement over a 5-year period. Left Chicago, pushed for excellence, with the lien on it by the government, went to D.C., made it rainbow. When the money was paid, he went back to Chicago, made it push rainbow. Right here on this stage, I told you, he was the only nigga in the history of the American government to misappropriate a grant and get a payout agreement. When he had deep pent-up anger in his heart, told the white man he was Jaime Town, but when the white man said, "What you say, nigga?" he went, blah, blah, blah. I didn't say nothing. Because deep in his heart, he ain't against nobody. Little coochie, little dope, little booty, little speech, little money, it's okay. I used to see Jackie Jackson in D.C. She said, "Cokley, what you up to?" I said, "Jackie, don't mess with me. You know I respect you more than your husband." Right here on this stage, the first time I came to the slave theater, I put right up on the overhead that we had broken in on a spy operation. Got me fired from the mayor's office, a spy operation coming through the United Way. In the Operation Push, the NAACP, the Urban League, the ADL, the American Jewish Committee, American Jewish Congress, National Conference of Christian Jews, Human Relations Commissions, Federal Justice, Community Relations Department, showed it to you 3 times in fact. The nigga was a spy. Nigga called from Africa, wanted to file his report with the president. Brent Starcroft, National Security Advisor on the Bush, said, "File it with the ambassador." Right here on this stage, I told you the nigga was informant in Africa. Nigga was informant in his neighborhood in Chicago. He lied on Martin King in Memphis. He lied on his wife. His brother was not pardoned by Clinton, while Clinton was pardoning his own brother. Jesse lacked the courage to stand up for his brother Noah. In Chicago, Reverend Sampson had to stand up and put a full-page ad in the paper to beg for Clinton to free Jesse's brother. And Jesse's brother sent him a note to Al saying, "You're the only man, even in my family, to stand up for my right to get out of jail." Jesse didn't stand up for his brother because his brother committed murder. And some of the murders were for Jesse. Y'all know about murder. Shit, Floyd Flake wouldn't be in business if the businesswoman hadn't went off the bridge. Shit, y'all know more than y'all saying. We ain't forgot. something on, he'll call him all the time. That time we were up here in New York trying to take Time Warner on the street level, I learned a whole lot about talking one thing and doing something else. I learned a lot. And that's why I forever thank Alden Maddox, because is Alden still in the room? That's all right. Alden is one of the best infighters, up close, beyond the TV screen. He's just a good old-guard man. Really good. One of the best infighters. In Sharpton, I love Reverend Al. And he was with us, but you gotta work him. You gotta work him hard. You gotta stick him. You got a problem. No, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, because honestly, people are doing a lot of things. So, too many things, but they're doing a lot of things. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Jesse was at Meet the Press. Jesse was at Meet the Press in D.C., and you can tell when somebody got something on you, because when things happen, sometimes you do strange things. I'm going to show you something strange. So what's it? It's already keyed up. Okay, here we go. Now watch this. It's going to show. It's going to go in slow motion. This is just getting the press with the... When we say how, I want it just like that. No, that's not it. That's not it. Yeah, at one point they do an official in a circle. I'm going to show you some things about circles and circles. Yeah, take that tape out. One says it's just a Jesse. That's it. Now listen up. When the lights go out. Okay. I just want to say, when the lights go out, we are armed. Okay, here we go.
It was as a result of a commission and expedited procedures. It worked.
But there's been two commissioned.
Yeah, keep it going. Yeah, that's all right. Set it up.
Black National Security Advisor, Hispanic White House Counsel. Democrats had the presidency and never did anything like that.
And that's good news, but Colin Powell comes out of a policy.
Watch it.
First time in Hispanic, Al Gonzalez.
Internet's most esoteric retail businesses. Nativities.com.
Okay, what you go, forward or backwards? Yeah, you might have to go the other way. Now, okay, there we go. Keep going backwards. Keep going backwards. Keep going to the first thing. Go to shrink lock.
And never did anything like that.
And that's good news, but Colin Powell comes out of a policy.
It's no slow.
That was just a light bulb, sorry.
Colin Powell comes out of a policy.
First time in Hispanic.
Oh, let go. It's all right. Let go. Let go. It's going slow motion.
Black Secretary of State, a Black National Security Advisor, Hispanic White House Counsel. Democrats had the presidency and never did anything like that.
And that's good news, but Colin Powell comes out of a policy.
Watch.
Colin Powell comes out of a
Hope is dope. Watch that nigga eyes. Watch that.
And that was the policy that made the way possible for Colin Powell to be sent to the next generation. Surely he is qualified. Condoleezza Rice is qualified. Gonzalez is qualified. Women are qualified without protection of
bring it 10 scenes from around.
Okay, that's good. You see, you can always tell when somebody got something on you. Because you can always tell when somebody worried about what they ain't told you. Now, okay, I know all y'all saw that, right? No, I mean you saw it now, but you saw it then too, right? Okay. You just see just what one tape will do. 3 seconds worth of stuff is enough to fill you up with that maybe somebody's being pulled apart by a force even greater than their own mischief. That baby is damn near 2 years old. A year ago, somebody came to me with the story, and I said, but he helped kill Martin King. I don't need no shit about no promiscuity. I got stuff on him worse than the promiscuity right here. In another King lecture, we talked about why was it that the U.S. government propagated in the public on every opportunity they had to embarrass Martin King and his sex life. I did a lecture once, January 19th, 1997, called Homosexuality versus Promiscuity. And in that lecture, I talked about how Gay Edgar Hoover, homosexual, had an impact on Robert Kennedy, John Kennedy, and Martin King, promiscuous. John slept with the women he wanted. Robert slept with them when he finished. Yep. And that it had an impact on America because they were all weak. And I try to teach the children not to let getting the booty be your guide. And that was the purpose of doing the lecture. But in that tape, it's carved, it's just locked in and frozen, and the words could never be changed. I said, Jesse sleeping with other women is not news. The news is the white man won't bust him for it. We know Roberta Flack sang to Jesse Jackson, Jesse, my bed is waiting for you. There's a hole in my bed for you, Jesse. Hold it now. Jesse got more kids out there. Ask Jackie Robinson's daughter, who got the baby named Jesse. Last week said, pay me, else the Inquirer will. The Jackson story ain't over. And whoa! Just when Jesse Jr. was going to get away, they pulled the white woman off of Wall Street that he got somebody with. But what the deepest part was this. When the ministers in Chicago went to Jesse with the repent thing, humble yourself, don't. Now you see, the same niggas that tell Jesse don't stay off for a while. Remember Jesse was out, I'm gonna retire for a while and get myself together. See, everybody who do that too went and got him, said, man, don't go. Shit, we'll all go. Somebody said, man, what are you gonna say when they ask you at the Supreme Court about Jesse? Say, ain't no different than that Newt Gingrich. He's the most powerful white man in America. But he got a girlfriend and his wife took him down. Shit, Giuliani wouldn't be good mayor now. If when they asked him, was you sleeping with Mary, he said, no, I ain't done nothing with Mary. But then his wife came out and said her name was Sharon, damn it. We all thought he was a faggot. Still a faggot. Sleep with the police chief. Who got butt cancer, as a matter of fact. Livingston from Louisiana was going to be Speaker of the House. The most vocal man talking about Clinton and his wee-wee. But then Larry Flint took him down. Larry Flint got about 200 of that Senator Congress pathology on paper. Congressman Wynn, where I live, a black man, got busted by Larry Flint. His black woman wife went out and campaigned against him, said my husband left me and the kids for a white woman. And the only reason he went on and left us was that Larry Flint sent us the letter. Why do preachers want to be politicians? Why do hoes want to be queens? Jackson's promiscuity is not new to those of us from Chicago. But what do you think about that timing right before the inauguration? Who's got the clock by which the Negroes' vitalities live by? Who calls the day when they're to be flushed into the public? Why was it the Inquirer and not the New York Times? They had the story. But the New York Times on May 24th of 68 exalted this nigga as the next great nigga next to Martin King. How would they ever write the story to bring him down after they pumped him up? But I'm telling these Negro leaders this: nothing I ask you for shall here to this day forward be denied. For the night you slept with that bitch Jackson, your ass became mine. No, now the point I bring to that is this. You see, if that's what they do, for what they say is effort, then it's what we gonna make them do as a result of what we caught them doing for Jackson. Jackson is an agent of the U.S. government. How could you bring him back from the dead? And poor Jackie, let the woman in her house. But that wasn't the first time. I remember the brother Fox, former policeman, White House detail officer, who drives me to the airport like he drives Jesse Jackson. Went to the airport that time to pick up Roberta Flack. Miss Jackson insisted on going with him. They sat in the back of the limo and never said a word. Roberta sang Happy Birthday to Jesse like Marilyn Monroe singing to John Kennedy at the press club that year. Jackie will tell you emphatically there will only ever be one Mrs. Jackson. My girlfriend before she was Jessie. No, just a joke. Y'all seen her? Y'all seen her? Okay, I ain't gonna show her to you then. All right. Okay, now. All right. There's a clip up there with Sis Circle. Let's see. Yeah, that. Now, I have this theory that over time we have been trying to get to the bottom of secret society. Circles within circles. You're right, brother. We're going to that point now to make a point. Yes, please.
If my daughter gets a good education, society will benefit, believe me.
This might show Jesse.
That line is coming up in a few minutes. Here's Ted Koppel with a review. Ted?
Maureen, as you've already reported, the president has cut a deal to avoid prosecution. I'll be talking tonight to the president's chief of staff and to the independent counsel. That's our nightline tonight. Maureen?
Thank you, Ted. Before we go, I'll look at a piece of history that's returned to Washington for the inauguration. When George...
Oh, okay. Now, what this is, yeah, it's going to be worse. This is the picture of the Bible that George Bush Jr. was sworn in on, came from the St. John's Lodge of New York. And it was really weird. I saw the story earlier in D.C. of the Bible coming. They cut the camera at the waist of the men so you could only see the edge of their Masonic apron. Now, George Bush becoming president is secret society, the epitome of it. Oh, for those about that Jackson thing, that and a lot of this other circle within circle footage I'm showing you now is in a videotape back there called Election 2000. Also, there's an audio tape back there that either says debate or Masonic debate. There's a KJLH radio show where I debate a man who was a Mason, who was put on the black talk show to kind of mess it up. And we had this debate, and then 2 days later he was fired. Very important tape. Ain't but a couple of tapes back there. But this is the arrival of the Bible of George Bush coming into D.C. from New York. Secret societies come to the White House.
Tomorrow, he'll put his right hand on a King James version of the Bible that's older than our country. The Bible is owned by the ancient York Masons in New York City. George Bush's father used the Bible at his inauguration, as did Jimmy Carter, Dwight Eisenhower, Warren Harding, and George Washington. The 234-year-old Bible arrived in Washington this afternoon by train.
Go back. Let's read. In fact, let's show it one more time. Let's show the whole thing one more time. Notice the point that they had to get the cameras at the train to be there for the folks.
Masons in New York City. George Bush's father used the Bible at his inauguration, as did Jimmy Carter, Dwight Eisenhower, Warren Harding, and George Washington. The 234-year-old Bible arrived at...
Yes. So I have Gore right coming in from New York. After I told the press to meet him down on the train yard, all 4 men to carry that little box. This guy here can barely walk. But why do you think they all want to use the same Bible? Why do you think they want to take the oath on the Bible that came out of the Masonic Lodge because they don't want to give honor to the Mason? Do they want to give honor to the secret society because they're going to disrespect them? They're going to give them honor? They're going to give them the top honor, y'all. They're going to make them the crown of what all it is. What's up there, brother Dr. Leonard Jeffries? I'm going to have a special showing at Jesse just for you. All right, we can turn it back on. Now watch, I have this theory.
Train.
about circles within a circles.
Have a good night. Nightline.
Turn the sound down a little bit. My theory is, and watch the circles. Watch the circles. Watch the circles. Watch the circles. Watch the circles.
ABC 7 News Hotline. If you think...
Okay, just let it keep going. Let it keep going. It's going to come up on another set of circles. Keep the visual. And then just turn the sound down. Yeah, just let it keep going.
Ever said they had a good discussion.
Yeah, let it keep going. Now, my theory is this. That the secret society, the circle within a circle, Carol Quigley, in his book Tragedy and Hope, told us that that society was working on formation of circle within a circle within a circle. And that when we got to the Boule, we saw inside their urn was the circle within a circle. When we got their membership roster, I'm going to show you the cover. It's got circles within circles in it. I even got the little history book to the DeMolay, got the little child standing over circles within circles. I have this theory that whites are demanding other whites to sign on or signature the circle within a circle crowd. So everybody who's in on it will use the circles to show themselves. If you watch Nash Bridges, they'll show little circles as the opening around Nash Bridges. When you watch the football game, they have the little football games, I'll show you that when they announced the players, they showed them rotating out of far circles. Because sports helps the white man keep society safe for the white man. Sports is the physical distraction that makes people tired from just watching it. I always ask them sisters, I know you ain't got no good sex after Sunday football. Because brother be all tired. Somebody say, no, not in my house. I heard Carol hollering out loud. I've never seen Carol blush. Notice the circles on her. I don't want you all to miss it. Okay, now it's going to lead into ABC World News Tonight. And watch them start off with circles. Then when they start to preview stories, they're going to use the circles again. And when ABC starts off their news, CBS starts off their news, they all signature the circles within a circle. Okay, press a little forward. This will make, in fact, that's right. I'll show something in the meantime. Let me show, I have to show those 4 circles I wanted you to see. Here they are. Yeah, that's the weather, okay. But I want you to start making your own tapes where you're taping these things off commercials, lead-ins, even because in some cases you'll see the circles don't even fit. The only way the circles will make any sense was if they was up to New World Order. And I'm telling you, now, here's the magazine, Strategic Finance. And right in Strategic Finance is a circle within a circle with an I in the middle. This is a big-time finance magazine. You get it off the U.S. Air Shuttle flying up Boston, New York, D.C. I'm going to hold, now watch. I'm going to hold it up here. It's a Strategic Finance. Okay? You see them circles within a circle? Very cryptic. Here's DeMolay, the Masonic Youth Organization. I'm gonna come to you. Now watch this. Look at that. Got the little child. Clinton was a DeMolay. This is Masonic Youth. Look at them. Got the child caricatured over the circle within a circle. You see me? You see that? Why would they do that unless the circles meant something? Why would a Masonic child be depicted around a circle within a circle? You see that? You with me there? DeMolay. This is the Masonic Youth Organization. Circle within a circle. Now I'm telling y'all right now that the first thing righteous black mafia gonna do is strip Yusef of his clothes, send him home butt naked, spank his ass real good, and tell him if he ever sells another bootleg tape, we're gonna burn one of his cheeks off. Now when y'all see Yusef running here naked one night, you say, you ain't met the answer. Say, that's the righteous black mafia. They got, there you go, put the camera on him. Make 70,000 with the Long Island train, make 170,000 off black people. Righteous black mafia gonna get Yusef. We're gonna send him home naked one night. We're gonna spank his ass with a paddle. We're gonna send him home naked. If Leon with him, we're gonna do him too. We're gonna do strictly on last minute. Bust it. Look. Got to take the mask. That's right, goddammit. And New York is on Earth. Don't you forget it. That's right. This is my planet, goddammit. That's right. I'll whip you tonight. That's all right. All right. Okay. DeMolay. Okay, keep going. Fast forward a little bit. It's going to do the lead into the... Now, this is all election footage. There's corrupt Mafia Daily. There's CFR Warren Christopher. CFR Jim Baker. Now, stop the film. 1 second. Slow it down. Jim Baker was the finance man for Adam Khashoggi in Houston. Bought huge shopping centers down there. When Neil Bush went bankrupt with Silverado in Denver, it was with Adam Khashoggi as the bag man. It was Khashoggi that took the $5 million with Colin Powell and the missiles to Iran. And Khashoggi is the American business representative for Saudi bin Laden, the daddy of alleged terrorist bin Laden, who appears only to bomb America where black people are. I'm suspicious. And the bombing of the USS Cole by Saudi bin Laden, who has the largest construction company in the Middle East. It's a misnamed area, geographical area, Northern Africa. This misnamed continent, Africa. This Adam Khashoggi, business representative for Saudi bin Laden, whose son was financed by the American CIA in Afghanistan, blew up 2 African embassies, killed more black people than white men, bombed the U.S. Cole in Yemen. I'm real suspicious because I'm watching a movie on Yemen. Never seen a movie in the history of America about Yemen with Samuel Jackson and Tommy Lee Jones, Al Gore's roommate at Harvard. What was the movie called? Rules of Engagement. About Yemen and the embassy. Never been a movie in the history of America on Yemen. The little white boy calls his mama Mexican from the USS Cole and tells his mama, we're going to the Yemen, it's going to be trouble. The mama gets on TV before she knows her son is dead and said, my son said, watch TV, there's going to be trouble. How did they know it was going to be trouble in Yemen? And by Saudi bin Laden's son blowing up the Cole, it made Gore look indecisive. And it helped Bush all over again. Because then he starts saying, their military... Okay, remember Wall Street Journal did a 1-sentence connection. All right. But I can't get these niggas to take me nowhere to say nothing. They get in the room and spend all day with misanalysis, leave the room, eat, go have sex, go back to pray to Jesus. Somewhere righteousness has its place. Righteous black mafia, in effect, just chilling and killing, mugging and thugging on behalf of the black people. Now, the only way this thing is ever going to work is if we start terrorizing certain people who are picked for their symbolizing of the class. You must begin to start strategically punishing people who will tell other people that they will punish. We will never claim punishment. The righteous black mafia has things it needs to do. Black people need stuff done. Sometimes it has nothing to do with the law. And you have to be willing to do it with no glory and no fame, but not ever even drawing attention to yourself. Okay. Boule membership book. Circle within a circle. Gotta look at it carefully. DeMolay book. Circle within a circle. So now I'm trying to draw you on that there's a signature. with the circle within a circle. Up. That the white people put out in Florida. It had a baby carriage, and Jesse was pushing the baby carriage, and it said Operation Push. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. What pissed off the Black Ministerial Alliance in Chicago was having coming out to support Jesse's promiscuity. You saw Jesse do that little piece where he stood up and he said, and Jackie, after 38 years, we're still together. You saw that? Okay. What they didn't show was the sermon that he gave at Salem Baptist Church. In the sermon, Reverend, it was about David and Bathsheba. No, it wasn't about David. The story was about how David had impregnated Bathsheba. Sent her husband out to war because he knew he'd get killed. Tried to cut a covenant with God to save the baby. But God took the baby anyway. The ministers got mad when Jesse twisted the story to say, you see, David may have sinned, but God kept David the king. Did it run already? It ran? Saw ABC News opening up? Okay, keep going. Yeah, that's a witch right there. Something real devious about her. Something almost unreal. Oh, she was a big hit in D.C. last week. Yeah, keep this going forward. Keep it going forward. We ain't even got to ABC Evening News yet. I had to interject that Bush Bible piece on this tape just so I didn't have to bring another tape. Okay, now you're going to watch ABC News open up. So the preachers turn to Jesse. And Jesse says, David is still searching, but God kept David the king. So the preachers turn to Jesse and say, are you suggesting that two people dying for your sexual appetite is worthy of you remaining the top dog in the black community? And Jesse looked at him and said emphatically, yes. You see, it's one thing to bring him back, but it's a rule to coming back. There can be no reconciliation without confession. He ain't confessed to all of what he done. But the inquirer gonna make him so. Yeah, it's almost that. Hate the whole. What time is it? 10:20, okay? Be on time. It's coming up right now. ABC News opening up. Turn on the sound. Slow it down.
As the count was proceeding.
Now this is a vicious white boy here. He was so pro-white, he almost whipped Juan Williams one of them Sundays.
Quarters, as it's called.
We got to see some vicious white activity during this last election, believe me.
Stay tuned to your local Fox station and the Fox News channel.
There's 2 videotapes back there on the Boule ritual book. We stole the Boule ritual book for the first time ever, Dr. Jeffries.
For the moment,
the little old sister went to the bathroom at the Fist archive. She said, watch this stuff for me. We watched it right here at home. Now what? Watch that. Hope. Okay, still coming.
Created the perfect storm. One of our giant.
This is a theory. I want you to help me go away and see if we can collaborate. Circle within a circle in the Boule urn. The urn is the names of the people chosen to run stuff. Carol Quigley, circle within circle, the formation of the Circle of Initiates, Association of Helpers. The guardsmen protect the Boule protect the Hunke. Okay, watch now. Here we go. Here we go.
On World News tonight, it is getting to be a war in Florida. The Gore campaign wants to challenge the election results in the courts. The Bush campaign says the Democrats are still playing politics. Would the Democrats have a good legal case? An election challenge is very difficult. And the terrorists who tried but failed to attack a U.S. warship. Their little boat was overloaded with explosives. An ABC News exclusive.
Degrees of circles.
Headquarters in New York. This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening, everyone. It is a war out there. The presidential campaign only paused
Okay,
for election.
turn it down. Now, as this runs, or it don't have to run, every time they go to lead in a story, it falls out the circle. Turn on NBC Evening News, they'll start off with the same circle. CBS starts off with the eye in the circle. Why are circles so attractive? Or, now, something else you missed. Gore, as a white boy, this is a Wall Street Journal, October 6th or 5th, 2000. Gore started this commentary called "Out for the Needy, Not the Greedy." He started, during the election, he started playing what the white boys call class warfare. One day on the McLaughlin Report after the election, he did a whole show on Gore's class warfare strategy. Now, what does class warfare mean? As a white boy, Gore's daddy was knocked out by Richard Nixon and them from the Senate, by the white boy that eventually became head of the Republican Party. Gore started campaigning against Bush as a rich versus Gore, the so-called poor. But right in the middle of the campaign, October 5th, the Rockefeller family financial representative steps out and warns Al Gore one time. You might have missed this story. I'm going to show you the headline. Wealthy 1% feeling oppressed. Ask Gore, don't tread on us. Wealthy 1%. See that? What say that about? What that say?
Wealthy 1% feeling oppressed. Ask Gore, don't tread on us.
The wealthy 1% that owns America told Gore in October, you better stop that rich versus the poor shit. In trial level of 2000, when they did the 10-year forecast, it wasn't in there about Y2K, but it was in there about the ultimate conflict of the rich versus the poor. Said if anybody is ever able to turn the dynamic in the rich versus the poor, our assets are out of here. So Gore started running around preaching, I'm for the needy, not the greedy. And you might have not heard it or knew what he meant, but the rich white boy said this. Some rich Americans don't like being gored by the vice president. During this week's presidential debate, Al Gore zoned in on one issue like no other. His assertion that Republican Governor George W. Bush would devote half the proceeds of a broad tax cut to the wealthiest 1% households. To be sure, there's nothing new about politicians' tax breaks for the wealthy. The top 1% has always been maligned in American culture. There's a long history of knocking the very rich. But the wealthy are getting mad as hell and don't want to take it anymore. And all of a sudden, Bush went up 10 points in the polls. When the warning came to Gore to cut that wealthy shit out, Rockefeller's family representative is quoted in the article said, remind Gore that the top 1% of America make as little as $400,000 a year. And they're all the Americans that he loves in the high-tech world. Now, that was real interesting because it's not until you go 0.1% that you get to the ones we're looking for who got 72% of everything. When you make it 1% or add 9.1 more people, you get down to the 400,000 a year person. It's just a cover. Rockefeller used the 400,000-aire to cover themselves in the attack against Gore, when it was really the 0.1% that meant business. Did you see J. Rockefeller, the fourth campaign for Gore? Not one time. He's the senator of West Virginia, the Rockefeller family. Didn't campaign for Gore one time. The wealthy kicked his ass, but his character didn't allow him to say it. When Jesse and them were down there crying vote fraud, Gore didn't get with that. They kept all the white boys on this side, and they kept the nigger problem on this side, and no court has heard them or turned anything around in their behalf. Everybody know Bush stole Florida, but you're gonna kick his ass and take it back. That's the move. That's the only move. Look at the little white boy that got through all the security to hand Bush a pen during the inauguration. Did the same thing to Clinton. Even with profiles to look out for the man, he still did it again. It only shows they can be taken. All right. Okay, last move. Last move. What I want to do, in this last move, is to read you a little of the ritual book of Sigma Pi Phi. Now, the reason I'm reading you a little bit of this ritual book is because it took us 10 years to steal it. One more thing about the election. You all do know how Ralph Nader got started, don't you? Common Cause was started with a $500,000 grant from the Rockefeller Foundation. Nader is Rockefeller's man. The script was to pull Nader out. But when Gore stopped playing the wealthy thing, they pushed Nader's ass back in there and didn't pull him out at all. In a real revolution, Nader would have been shot in the face. If it was my election, I'd have shot him in the face. Because if I was going to take the government, I'd have been willing to take it by any means necessary. I don't know all this Kabila thing. I saw they put Kabila in the front part of my article. That's the least I said about anything. Because I can't always understand everything when I can't talk to nobody directly. If I can't talk to nobody directly, I don't understand it. But I am awfully suspicious that Bush would meet with Kabila's son when he never liked his father. Now, a little sidebar. Who is the fucking Green Party anyway? Oh, you know, they had this little protest in the Senate. And they wanted the black congressman to get the signature of one senator. Did you see that? They tried to get the signature of one senator. Maxine Waters and them were protesting, and Gore said, well, the signature does make it. I said, why didn't they ask a black senator to sign the thing? Sure, she's married to him. That's Clinton. That's Clinton. Shit, she the black senator of New York? What you talking about? And if I run for something, I want them to help me like they helped her. They helped her big time. Okay, from the Boule ritual book, real quick, this is one part I don't quite understand it. They're taking them through the ritual of discretion. Discretion. Damn near the same, sister. Here we go. He's given the supposed grip of the fraternity, then in return upon instruction of the leading archon, he gives it to the inquisitor. To each each one more firmly upon his request until he's gasping very firmly each hand, while the results of his final gasping, the hand of the Salagan, S-P-Spal, S-P-L-A-G-N-O-N, Echon, E-C-H-O-N, the holder of the liver. You see, before each Boule ritual, they go out and buy one large pig liver for each new initiate. And then during the ritual, they tell them to take off their clothes. Come on, sister, you can get sexual now. Well, you bad tonight. Okay. So we got to find out something about what the S-P-L-A-G-N-O-N, Echon, means. Because that, the holder of the liver, something when they take their pants down, they have them they got the blindfold on the ritual. So the guy's blindfold, they say, get this guy a handshake. So they give him a handshake. They get this guy a handshake. The third guy they go to get a handshake to got the liver in his hand. And that's when they say, never give the shake to a man you can't see. Because the only way you know to give it to them is to see them first. So the liver is punishment. I don't know where or how they use it. But next time you see a member of the Boule, say, nigga, what you do with the liver? Okay, listen, it's real quick. This is, found out that the Boule got degrees, first degree, second degree, third degree. Didn't know the Boule had degrees. They got them tapping 4 times and tapping 3 times. In order to ascertain the fitness of those present, the leading and lecturing archon will obtain the word and grip for each present and report their findings to me. The leading archon and lecturing archon shall ascertain the word and grip and meeting before the altar and report their findings to the sire archon. First degree, leading archon, a man who was caught within the sacred bounds of our august council. Say he or they have business there. He has none. I believe him to be a spy in search of our mystic word and service. Indeed, how then shall he be dealt with? With violence and torture, such as has never been known before. For the crime he has committed by entering these portals, death, if he knows our mystic word. Does he know it? I believe not. Knowest thou our mystic sign and word? Candidate answers, no. There. I know not, but shall ascertain from the defender. From speaking with him, I believe him not to be entirely to blame for his actions, but that he was brought here by a purpose. If that is true, lead him to the altar and be bound by the sacred oath, and let him kneel before us and take the ritual. In the presence of this council here assembled, I do hereby promise and swear never to reveal any or manner the mysteries, secrets, tokens, or rights of this body to anyone who has not been regularly and properly brought before such a body as this and duly authorized to administer this oath. I do promise and swear never to lie, cheat, steal when dealing with one of this council. See, you can lie, steal, chill to anybody else. Check that. My aim shall always be to aid, uplift, and protect, love, and honor each member of this body. I swear never to violate the chastity of the mother, wife, or sister of anyone who I know to be a member of this council. So you could do anybody else's mama, sister, or wife as long as they're not a member of the Boule. And shall always strive to live so I bring no dishonor to Sigma Pi Phi. The candidate is led away to be prepared. The candidate shall be stripped to his underwear and socks and shall be securely blindfolded. Now, go to the book by Larry Graham, Our Kind of People. He's in this Manhattan hotel. He goes up the elevator. He says, now my Boule ritual begins, and then he cuts it off. Well, now the Boule ritual begins. Are there any more of that Boule ritual videotape back there? 2 of them left. There's only 2 of them. This is the lecture I did Saturday in D.C. 1 now. And in the Masonic debate audio, I also talk about the Boule ritual book. My point in holding up this ritual book is that now there is no longer any doubt in our mind about what the cream, the crop, or the prestigious of all the black secret societies do to a member. They make them kneel before the others and do the oath and the ritual, and then they let them stand. It's all about subordination and submission. In fact, if I showed the Brotherhood of the Bell, he says it's about total. He said, we run this secret society for one, and by one way only, obedience. Absolute obedience. In fact, even after I go off of this stage, I'm going to ask Minister Brown to run the videotapes into the camera so that at least it could be entered into the record. There's another video up there from Oxford Analytical when Eric broke into the IMF World Bank meeting and snuck out all the secret stuff that they were talking about how they're going to colonize Africa. There was a white group called Oxford Analytical that did the profile of African Americans at the World Bank IMF meeting. In that profile, it said that Africans are developing a dangerous trend due to dissatisfaction with the public school system by forming their own independent schools. That's deep. But they called it a dangerous trend because the socialization process that makes you a nigga is mandatory from 4 to the age of 16, called compulsory education. And it's kind of interesting. The weekend before the Million Family March, this paper put out by Price, the preacher Price in LA, the big dome, he put this leadership paper out on the weekend before the Million Family March, gave Minister Farrakhan a D+. The weekend before the march, and gave Jesse a B. 1.5 block from the paper is the mistress in the $365,000 home in Baldwin Hills. Only 1 block from where they print the paper. She lives in LA. Yeah, keep hope alive. Hope is dope. Anyway, and don't let me talk about the 200 black ministers out of Chicago that were flown to the inauguration in D.C. Hysel Taylor, T.L. Berry. You don't want me to read them names, but the key thing is Sun Myung Moon paid the bill, and the only Bush cabinet member that was allowed to go in the room of the 200 niggas was Ashcroft, and they made them niggas cheer for him. And you're going to see that tape on a commercial, all these nigga preachers cheering for Ashcroft, whatever the hell his name is. Ashcroft. All right, African people. I appreciate having the opportunity to be here with you tonight. I've been warned we can't pay no overtime tonight, but I appreciate the opportunity. Minister Brown is going to run the tapes. Oh yeah, this is from the movie The Brotherhood of the Bell.
I could get anything I want.
In fact, I think, Mr. Brown, this one may have to be rewound.
Privilege.
He's going to run the tapes into the record. I appreciate having the opportunity to be here with you. Leonard Jeffries, where Brother Leonard? Is he still back there? Oh, he over in the corner? I love you, brother. I appreciate you, Mr. and Mrs. Maddox and UAM. Huh? Yeah, right here. This is a ritual from the movie The Brotherhood of the Bell.
Andy, are you spending the day in San Francisco?
Oh no, I have to make the afternoon flight home.
It's a pity, really. Thought we might have lunch together. Oh, by the way, Jock at this address before you leave? Oh, excuse me.
Don't leave, black people. Don't leave. It's not over yet. Don't run into the door. Brother Steve COKELY said, hold on. Let him complete this because the major information is inside your mind. Hold on.
It's gonna take some getting used to.
What?
I mean, being a brother.
Oh, you have my home and office number, don't you?
You know, I still find it incredible that I could get anything I want.
Anything a man could get with money, privilege, and the best connections.
You know, it just occurred to me that we're part of the establishment now. Not part.
Which one you got there?
The establishment.
Before you do eyes by shut. Yeah, go ahead, eyes by shut. Then do the ritual in the circle within the circle.